It was a foggy morning on the ranch, the kind where the mist rolls over the fields like a soft blanket, and the sound of dew dripping off the barn roof is the only thing you hear. I was driving my old pickup down the private farm road, enjoying the quiet, when suddenly, crunch, I slammed on the brakes. My truck had hit spike strips. Karen. Of course it was Karen. She had somehow convinced herself that my private farm road, which I had maintained for decades, was a shared community pathway, and decided to enforce safety by installing homemade spike strips. Her goal? Dissuade unauthorized vehicles. The problem, as she would soon learn, was that this was my property. And on my property, spike strips are considered illegal booby traps. I stepped out of the truck, surveying the scene. The spike strips gleamed menacingly under the morning fog. Karen, clipboard in hand, was standing near the driveway, waving at me like she was orchestrating a ceremonial blockade. "Morning, Mr. Dawson. These are for safety." "You're welcome," she chirped. I squinted. "Safety? On my private road? You installed deadly spikes to protect. Who?" Her eyes narrowed. "The community. People shouldn't drive recklessly on private roads. It's dangerous." I laughed, shaking my head. "Karen, the only thing dangerous here is your attempt at vigilantism. Step aside before someone actually gets hurt. Legally, that someone could be you." Before she could argue, I grabbed my phone and called the sheriff's office. Within 15 minutes, a unit arrived. Deputy Harris, the same one who had handled several previous HOA incidents, stepped out, scanning the scene. "Ma'am, did you install these spike strips?" Karen nodded nervously. "Yes, but it was for safety reasons." Harris raised an eyebrow. "You do realize these are illegal, right? Booby traps on private property without permission are considered criminal offenses. You could face fines or even jail time." Her face went pale. I didn't." "You did," Harris interrupted calmly. "And the property owner, Mr. Dawson, is pressing charges for trespassing and property endangerment." By mid-morning, the spike strips were carefully removed by deputies, cataloged as evidence, and Karen was officially cited. The HOA board received an urgent warning that their president's actions were personal liabilities, not HOA-sanctioned activities. Meanwhile, I drove down my road, checking the tires of my pickup, thankfully unharmed, and watched Thor, my shepherd, patrolling the fields like the vigilant guardian he always is. "Never a dull moment, huh, buddy?" I said, scratching his ears. Thor barked once, a low, satisfied sound, as if agreeing. Later that day, the HOA sent a formal apology and promised strict rules against unilateral enforcement measures by any board member. Karen, predictably, tried to defend herself in emails, but even the board quietly ignored her. I walked down my road as the sun broke through the fog, admiring the open expanse of the ranch and thinking about how easily things could have gone wrong. Spike strips, after all, are much scarier in reality than on paper. Lesson learned: never try to enforce community safety on private property, especially when the rancher has a K9, the sheriff on speed dial, and a very low tolerance for HOA nonsense. Smiling face with sunglasses motorway.